I've learned how to pour a beer, though, apparently.
Well, that's a great way to start.
Boys
Come on,
want to do
host.
this?
Yeah, we're live, man. We're
You
live.
We're live.
You want to start a pod? We want to talk, huh?
I
You want
guess
to talk?
All right, here we go. Hey, this is Wicked Spursy, Mike, Steve, and Dave, and your favorite host, Dave, is back after an extended absence. My apologies to the crew and to our fandom out there. But let's get going. Steve, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I just got back today from a long weekend in Massachusetts. We checked out the New England Aquarium in Boston. We spent pretty much all day yesterday at the beach, which was an incredibly relaxing time. I'll tell you what, beautiful day, nice low 80s, sunny, cold, clear water. Oh, it was such a nice time. Driving back was not that great. Something about sitting in a car for an extended period of time just kind of sucks all the fun out of vacation. I don't know about you guys, but it's just that's like the worst thing to end on.
How did the little man like the aquarium? I know you were looking forward to his experience there.
Yeah, he loved it. He was incredible. He was better behaved than a lot of adults there. I gained a new pet peeve while I was at the aquarium. All right. My pet peeve now are these adults who show up to these things where there's a lot of children around who are excited and eager to look at the stuff, and they get really close to the exhibit. They stick their phone right up against it and they start taking a million pictures. It's like, buddy, you're fucking 30, 40, 50 years old. Get away from the goddamn glass and let the kids go and enjoy it. They're actually trying to live it and experience it. The world doesn't need 100 iPhone photos of whatever fucking animal you're looking at. Like, just back off, let the kids have their experience. It shouldn't be that hard. Also, you're taller than them, you can see over them. Like, step away, dude. Away.
Relax. There's sea turtles in the glass on the other side too.
Yeah,
and there's spaces where there aren't children trying to cram in to look at the stuff.
It was wild, and it wasn't a one-off either. There were a bunch of adults who were doing that. It was just so freaking annoying, But to his credit, Isaac didn't really pay them any mind. I was the one getting annoyed. He was patiently waiting, quietly, like a well-behaved person should, taking his. He knows he's 3 years old. He knows I have to wait my turn. When it's my turn, I can enjoy it, and then when I'm done looking at it, I move on so the next person can look. If a 3-year-old can figure it out, your fucking 30, 40, 50-year-old ass can too. That's my little rant about, visiting a tourist attraction. The beach was much more relaxing.
I feel like, stop me if I've told you this before, I feel like I've told you guys about the Wiggles before. Have I ever told you about the Wiggles?
Oh, I know about the Wiggles.
But let's about our experience with the Wiggles. So,
no.
Mike, you know what the Wiggles are. Steve, I don't know if the Wiggles even mean anything anymore to little kids. But when Logan was little, we're talking 3, 4, 5. Like, the Wiggles were this show, right? These grown men who dressed up in colored outfits and sang lots of songs, right? Mike, if I sing like fruit salad, yummy, yummy to you, you know what I'm talking about. Well, we went with some friends. We went to see the Wiggles live at an actual theater, like a legit place. And during an intermission, we were in the upper deck. During the intermission, a couple of the actual performers came up to the upper deck, presumably to like greet kids and, maybe sign autographs and do all this type of stuff. I'm not lying to you. I saw grown adult women, scores of them, just abandon their kids and just go bum rush these Wiggles like they're the freaking Beatles, and treated them like they were just like these amazing men that deserve their time. Like, just no respect for the situation or the fact that the kids were there to see these people. These women were getting their face time with the Wiggles. And Steve, go ahead and Google those guys. Get a
I know the Wiggles.
All right, good. So yeah, they didn't deserve to get that kind of attention. I'll just put it to you that way.
Absolutely not.
They started with the millennial generation. They do span generations, and there have been a number of different Wiggles.
Steve may have watched the Wiggles growing up.
I had not watched the Wiggles, although staying at my mother-in-law's, I was reacquainted with Arthur on PBS, and that took me back.
Timeless, yeah. Arthur's a good one. Very nice.
That was a good time.
Well, Steve, glad to hear you picked up a pet peeve and had a good trip and a good day at the beach.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mikey boy, how you doing, man? How you been?
I've been great, man. I am fucking rolling today, Dave. I had a friggin' awful weekend at work. I got called in one time, so I gotta buy a new roof, right? Gotta buy a new roof. We're going eco-friendly solar, right? So I need the new roof, I need the solar, I need gutters on my garage, and and a patio. Those are the four things in my life. And I need them within the next year or so. So obviously that's going to cost probably $50,000 out of my life.
Oh,
Um,
easy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're going to no money down. We got approved for no money down on the solar, so that's good. Um, our payment's going to be less than our actual electricity bill. Uh, so that's also good. Here's the thing: you got to pay for these things, right?
You
You
mean
ask for a
nothing's
service.
free?
You ask for a service from a group of individuals, a company, if you will. You have to pay them for said service. Um, so when I take my call and I pick up extra call, I expect that people will be getting injured so that I can come in and do my job. Uh, Apparently nobody got injured this weekend. Um,
Wow, I never thought about that. You rely on the misfortune of others.
oh yeah, yeah. I make my money on the misfortune of
What
others.
a weird twist, man. I never
It
thought
is
of
a
it that
it
way.
is a weird twist, right?
Yeah.
It is a weird twist. Nobody ever thought about that when they mentioned their healthcare heroes. Um, but that said, I got called in for one case. It was an hour and a half. It ended right around about 30 minutes before game time. I got down to Vivid Coffee, met up with some of the Green Mountain Spurs. I met a couple new prospective members of the Green Mountain Spurs. Younger people, so they probably don't use Facebook, even though I steered them toward the Facebook group. But wonderful time there. Funny thing that happened to me today. I'm all amped up because what a match. We'll get into that. But I'm all amped up for the match today, or for the podcast today. So I'm going to the bevy, the bottle shop. We call it the bevy, the bottle shop for our English folks. To get the beers for today's podcast, or the beer.
All right,
I
but what
get
about the
there.
rest of our listeners? There are Czech listeners, our Spanish ones.
Right.
Come on, let's keep it going. What else do you call it?
There are some Canadians
you know
out
what? To my Czech friends, Nastravia. But we can get into that too. Anyway, I'm going there, and I'm at the light in Winooski off of 89 to turn to go to the bevy, right? Everybody knows where that is if you're from Vermont. There's always someone there, who has a sign that says they're homeless or they've lost their home or whatever, asking for money and donations, that kind of stuff. And they always have like a cardboard sign. But here I am listening to, and I don't ever do this either. I was pre-listening to a podcast, because I knew that Ricky was going to be on. I love the fighting cock, and I especially love when Ricky's on, because the way that him and Flav and John Bass all like kind of interact with each other is fucking hilarious. I feel similar to what we do, but they've been at it a lot longer. So I'm sitting there listening, and I've got it turned up. I've got it turned up, but I got my window rolled down. I got the window rolled down. It's nice out, right? It's like 69, 70 degrees in Vermont right now. Sunny, beautiful. This guy, I'm right there at the light. First one, he's standing right next to me, wanting me to give him money. And I'm pulling out a couple of bucks out of my wallet. And he hears Ricky say something about Tottenham. And he says to me, as I'm looking down, I haven't even looked the guy in the face yet, says, "Tottenham sucks."
So what'd you do?
I turned to him and I looked, and I was like, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Tottenham sucks." And I was like, I was going to give you $2, but now I'm just going to put this right back in my fucking wallet. I put it in my wallet, light turned green, and I took the fuck off.
Wow.
This actually happened to me.
Wow.
So I get to the beer store, and I get in there, and I know exactly what I want because they have it there. I wanted this Lucy and Howe Brewing, because I knew that the bevy had it there, and my shop up in Georgia didn't have it. And I went in and I said, "Oh, look, there's the Lucy and Howe." There's like 4 different kinds, and I was like, "I'm going to take this." for the pod. And then I looked over and I saw the Lawson's elderberry gosa, and I went, oh shit, I gotta get that. And then I looked over and I saw some upper pass, and I'm like, shit, I gotta get that too. And then I said, well, I'm already 4 packs deep. I might as well go to the back of the shop and check out to see what they've got from the other states. And they have a big cooler with stuff from other states. And I saw a brewery which I've been trying my ass off to get, which is funny. It's a Rhode Island brewery. We'll get into that later. But it's a Rhode Island brewery, and I've never had the pleasure of actually having one of their beers. I have a hat.
You
from the
found
brewery.
Narragansett.
I'm not talking about Narragansett, but I am talking about a brewery that was frequented by our very own, by Wicked Spursie's own Brian from Rhode Island. So I'm calling out Brian from Rhode Island right now for never having brought this beer to me. Also, my one of my best friends, Trey, lives in Rhode Island. Also has never brought this to me. I'm highly disappointed, and we'll talk about that later. Other than that, life is fucking great. And I'm still $2 rich. So, because some guy made a goofy comment when he
The
could
moral of
have
the story: being a gooner doesn't pay.
if you're begging and you're a gooner, I'm sorry for your situation, but you lost my money at that point.
That's just karma, right?
Yeah.
Mike, I mean, this is a really weird question. Let's turn the tables. Let's say you're that guy, and that guy's got an Arsenal pod on in his vehicle. What do you say?
What do I say? I shut my mouth if I want some fucking money.
Priorities, right, man?
Also, I gotta say, Dave, it's so great to have you back, because nothing against Jason, but he wouldn't have asked that question. He did ask a great question. Also, your beard is on.
Well, thanks, man. My beard is due for a little trim up, but I appreciate.
I think you just let it go, man. It's very Wolfman Jack. It's very perfectly shaped. It's very nice today.
Full Santa Claus era is kicking in, man, for sure.
Yeah. Should we talk about some football?
Let's talk about some
I
football.
guess
So
so.
so I got to say, Mike, Steve, remembering that you were on vacation with the family, and Mike, knowing that you were at Vivid with some younger folks. Now I know why when I was sending all these messages on the WhatsApp, it was like a freaking echo chamber I was talking into. Like, I was like, damn, these guys are totally blowing me off. I just got back in the game, and I don't even exist anymore. But now I know. So my feelings are no longer.
He's like Dave only chat.
Exactly.
You had your cry, you figured it out. We're all good.
Yeah, but hey, let's get into it. Mike, why don't you get us started? What did you see that you liked or would like to talk about from the game?
Dude, lineup changes.
Okay, do it.
Lineup changes again, man. So this time we get to see Pedro Porro. We got to see Papsar, right? Yeah. So coming into game one, we were like, holy shit, look at this lineup. I didn't expect that. This is kind of the lineup I expected in the first game. I expected the speed, the crossing ability of Pedro Porro, to be able to break down a Brentford style type of defense, a guy with recovery speed who can get back and at least slow up an attacker. This is kind of what I expected in the first game, because of the way that Brentford plays and the way that Brentford counterattacks and that kind of shit. It kind of made a little bit of sense for Man U, but for me in the beginning, I was like, that front three of Man U is scary as shit. Especially with Rashford over there and Garnacho. And I was a little bit hesitant to be excited about it. The Papsar, I 100% expected to start against Brentford, just for the plain fact that he's an attacking presence. He can bookend with Madison, and sandwich with Basuma in the middle. I think that the lineups actually came off pretty well with this game. I got really excited. Straight off the bat at kickoff. Like, we didn't have the volume really turned up, but you could hear the excitement in the crowd.
Yeah, there was a buzz for sure.
There,
Right?
there was definitely a buzz. The giant tifo was cool, right? There's a little bit of everything going on, you
Or
know.
as Mike likes to say, it was electric.
It
It was
was
electric.
Boogie,
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're back, baby.
That's
oh
right.
yeah.
We're back and better than ever. So anyway, like I loved all the excitement in the park. I loved the fact that we didn't really change our tactics at all. It was live fast, take chances, right? Lots of passing, lots of dangerous passes, lots of dominance in the midfield, lots of Basuma centric defending, turning it into offense. Everything about the game I loved. That said, the very start seemed a little bit kind of on edge. We settled into the game, and I think the second part of that first half, I think that you saw Tottenham just start to take over a little bit. I think you saw the midfielders, the Man U midfielders getting a little bit frustrated. I think that Destiny Udogie, was showing up at places we didn't expect him to. Like, so I mean, if you look at the lineup, it was very, very predictable at the front. The front three, it was predictable with our center backs, and it just on the outsides and in the middle, it wasn't as predictable as we thought it was. And I thought that the game played into our hands, you know, within 15 to 20 minutes. So I mean, we dominated possession throughout the game, and we get into more of that as we move along here. But
Yeah, let's I'm gonna go to Steve with a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Steve, is it too soon to be worried about Richarlison? What do you think on that one?
No. And honestly, it all comes down to Ange, right? So I'm glad you asked this question because he kind of fits in with the comment that I wanted to make about the lineup too. I think the way that Ange is handling the team, bloated as it is just impeccable.
Mhm.
I mean, you look at the changes he made, right? Poro comes in, Sarr comes in, Skip drops, Emerson drops. And, when he was asked about it, he said something along the lines of, it's not that they did anything wrong or that they were underperforming. I just wanted to see these other guys, I know what I've got with them now. I wanted to see what these guys would do.
Which is brilliantly honest and no mind games, right? Like, doesn't that feel so foreign compared to the last two managers we've had?
Well, it really does. But to me, it does two things, right? It shows that he is willing to, flex people into different spots just so that they can get some time out there so that he can assess them, see where they're at. But I really appreciated he had said, how do I know how they're going to react to this level of play if they don't play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that sense that we've been missing for the last few managers of just letting these guys go out there, try to, handle the tactics, try to get out there and put the game plan in action and see whether it works, right? You might call it a gamble, maybe. I like to think he's not gambling, but he's seeing these guys in training. He knows what they can bring. And it's, to me, it's Ange calling him out and saying, this is your time. I'm giving you your chance. Take it or don't, right? And so far, it seems to be paying off. We're two real games in to the season, and it looks good. So with that in mind, we're talking Richarlison. He hasn't scored, no assists, nothing like that. He's been a little bit frustrated, making some runs that aren't getting caught out. He's trying to do things. Seems to be, like half a step behind where he's supposed to be at a lot of these moments. But I'm not worried because Ange mentioned that, he specifically said, look, in the first game, hey, we didn't go to Richarlison as often as maybe we should have. He was making some good runs. He's recognizing the work that Richarlison's putting in. The team just isn't playing to that right now. And if it doesn't worry Ange, it's not going to worry me because frankly, if it doesn't work, if we go another couple games and he's not scoring, Ange will hook him. I have no doubt in my mind, Ange will say, you know what, this just isn't working. You're not getting the tactics, back to the drawing board. He'll get his chance further down the line, no doubt in my mind. But I'm not, at this point in the season so far, with everything I've seen and heard from Ange, I'm willing to say if Ange trusts Richarlison to go out there and try to do his best, he can have all the leniency for me. Again, personal opinion, fandom aside, I'm sure people are calling for him to be hooked, and Son can play center forward, put Solomon out there, somebody else. But if Ange thinks he's got something to offer the team and is willing to give him the chance to do it, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not expecting him to put up Harry Kane numbers. Frankly, all I need from him is the effort, which I do see from him. It's not for lack of trying. He's out there, he's doing stuff. It's just not coming off right now. And some sort of payoff at the end, right? Give him another 2-3 games. If it's still not working, back to the drawing board maybe. But until then, roll with it. He's trying, he's passionate, he really wants to be there. He's not some Ndombele like character who's just lazing about trying to earn that money. He knows Spurs spent a lot of money on me. They want goals from me. I know it's required. Honestly, I do think he's in his head a little bit. I think if Ange can get him out of his head, I think if his teammates can support him the way that I know they can, based on what I've seen so far this season, I think the payoff is going to be worth it, so I'm willing to ride it out. That's just my opinion. I know other people out there are more ready to just cut our losses on Richarlison, but I'm not there yet.
One thing I noticed about him is he's not flopping nearly as often as I would consider his norm. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but just kind of watch for that. How when he played for Everton, you'd always be like, all right, dude, just get up and get on with it. And he did the same thing for us last year when he was on the pitch, but I don't see as much. I have to wonder if Big Ange maybe told him to cut that out and just get back to playing.
I mean, it might be. It really would seem like something that he would want. But that also might just be sort of a different mindset, right? Like we talk about, how these guys, a lot of what they do and why they look so good is just they've been doing this for a long time at a high level. They have that muscle memory. They have that instinct, that intuition, all that stuff going. And if you're getting to the point where you've got a coach telling you, I know what you've been up to. I saw what you were doing last season. I saw what you did at Everton. I don't want that. I want you to be strong. I want you to try to push through these challenges to really go for it. It's almost like you're trying to unlearn a bad behavior, right? Which can be a little bit tricky. It throws you off a little bit. And, we've seen he has been a half a step behind. There were a couple of chances in that United game where if he was maybe a step quicker, he would have gotten to the end of something. There was one cross in where I think he would have connected with his head if he was just a little bit faster. But again, I see the effort. I see that he's trying. And as long as Ange thinks he's worth keeping out there, I think it's worth giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I think, Steve, too, it's a little bit of it's a mechanism of the position he's playing, the amount of service he's getting as well. I mean, I maybe the fact that he's more central now. He has to hold up in the box. He has to play a little more physical that he's used to. He's not playing in wide open space like he would on the left side if he were playing a Sonny type winger position. He doesn't have that ability or for, I guess, lack of a better term, the want to be able to do that, or like you said, the muscle memory to do that, because he's playing a wholly different position. He has to hold up in the box. He has to be able to receive balls. He has to be able to continue forward motion to receive a through ball from a midfielder, or from somebody like Decky who's coming back inside or across from a Poro. So he has to be on his feet at all times. He can't do that flopping. But it also, I mean, very well could be Ange saying, "Knock it the fuck off."
No,
I like that version better personally, but
now, Dave, I got a question for you.
All right,
and for Mike, I guess, too. But I want you to answer first because you put me on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. Welcome back, host. So we've been suggesting midfields for a little while now. We've been dancing around it. Madison, no doubt he's been good since he's come on. Now there's talk that he's picked up a little bit of an injury, a foot injury, could potentially be out. Does that worry you?
No, it doesn't, because Lo Celso slots into that role, and I'm still happy with Basuma on the pitch. I'm still happy with Sarr on the pitch. Bentancur is coming back mid-September, I think I read today. So no, Madison is phenomenal. If Spurs are going to be a resounding success top 4 team this year, which I didn't think was possible a month ago, I think it might be possible now. Madison will be the factor in making that happen, no question. But if it's a minor injury out for a few weeks, not concerned one bit at all. How about you, Mike?
I'm 100% concerned.
Wow. All right.
And here's why. And this is the big why. Because the two people that I believe can take his place and play his position on the field are one Ndombele, who I wanted to give a chance to at the beginning of the season, and you can fuck off. And two, Gio Lo Celso, who looks like he's getting looks from Barcelona right now, and still wants out. So those are the two replacements that we might have for him. Nobody is going to be able to give the service, be as good on the ball, be as calm on the ball. Dude, there were times in this game where he was being approached. He received the ball, turned, and was immediately approached by 2 guys and a third defender trailing, coming at him. And he just calmly kind of dribbled through them.
Yeah, he's amazing. He
Like,
really is.
I knew this, I knew that, like, I didn't watch Leicester a ton, but I knew that, like, when Leicester was playing in my DraftKings contest, first fucking guy I'm picking is James Madison, because of his passing ability, because of his shooting ability, because of his, a dude who can stand over the ball and take a set piece from anywhere on the field. His corner kicks, like, the dude changes games. And without him there, we are a weaker team. And evidenced by the fact that, and I'm not going to say he put in a terrible performance, but the fact that Skippy is just still a step behind, especially in this offense. I think the way that he plays is a little bit too slow, a little bit too methodical. He maybe thinks too much when he's on the ball. You take him out, you have to put Skippy in if you're going to let either one of those other guys go that I mentioned. It's a completely different game without Madison in there. I don't think Basuma's able to do what he does without Madison in there.
I think you're right, Mike, but I'll go a step further with my stance earlier. If there was going to be a window for Madison to be out, and we don't know that he's going to be out yet, but if there was, I would say it's the window where we have Bournemouth, Burnley, and Sheffield as our next three matches.
100%. But like I said in the
helpful.
past, though, like, the games that you need to win are those games. The games that you should win are the games you need to win.
Absolutely.
And always those games, those Manchester Uniteds, the shit heels, the Man Cities, the Saudi United, those are the teams that you want to beat and would be nice to beat. But the teams that you need to beat are those teams that are in the bottom 5 to 8. You have to beat those teams. And those teams are there.
But hey, do you trust Ange to figure it out?
I 100% trust Ange to figure it out. You know what? I'd love to have a little pocket Ange. Anytime I'm feeling down, I'd just be able to like pull a little Ange out and just be like, have him give me like a little quote. I'll be like, all right, cool. I feel much better now.
Call you mate at the end of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You call me mate. Yeah. Let's fucking go get him, like, type of a thing. And I just stick him in my pocket and be like, All right, I'm good for a couple more hours until somebody else pisses me off.
Very nice. Very nice. You know what I wanted to ask you guys before I ask a really important question, but I have another question first. That is, whatever happened to the concept of like incoming players from other leagues needing time to bed in? I'm kind of feeling like Van de Ven and Udogi in particular have like laid waste to the entire concept of what did Pochettino used to say? It takes like 12 to 18 months for a player to fully bed in to play in the Prem.
That's
These
just
guys-
to buy him some fucking time.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
going to be telling Chelsea
works.
the same thing now.
Yeah, and they'll fire him tomorrow.
They paid 115 million for Caicedo, and Brighton's laughing all the way to the fucking banks right now.
Yeah, did you see
Yeah.
those Brighton tweets where they're like, "Hey, no returns, no no
no
paybacks,
no givebacks, no
Yeah.
givebacks.
The funny
Um,
thing to me about that whole situation is to skirt the financial fair play stuff. They've got these guys on like 7-8 year contracts. So
Oh, yeah.
like, you know, if I'm Caicedo and I'm having a shit time at Chelsea and the fans have already turned on me because of one shockingly bad part of a game, because he didn't even, you know, he came on as a sub and didn't even finish. I'm like, you know what? I have 8 years. I'm making this much money. Like, go ahead, try to get rid of me.
Oh, he's going to Ndombele it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's been Tanguy's play
It's
from
going
the
to be
beginning.
impossible to get rid of some of these guys. Mudryk,
Yeah, it's
90
like, guess-
mil, he's been ass. I mean,
Guess
Chelsea
what,
just
Todd
fucked
Bowley?
themselves.
You can't sell Caicedo to another team next year like you did with Josh Beckett, you know, because he didn't work out.
Very true.
This is not the MLB, buddy.
But hey,
And
I have maybe a more pressing question that has been on my mind for quite some time. Steve, do you mind if I ask this question?
Dave, I would be delighted for you to ask this question. I got to ask it once this season. We had a special guest ask it last week,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard you ask it.
You know what? Wait, before we ask any questions of anybody else, Jason's a nice guy. Is he that special? We call him a special guest?
I'm not judging a guest.
Look,
I think
he-
every guest is a special guest. You know, they're special.
Exactly.
I want to set the bar because, like, we know Jason. He's a friend. We are allowed to shithouse with him. How special is that friend on our like level of special?
Look,
So I guess-
we let him on the
yeah.
show. That's pretty special. I mean,
How special then if he's pretty special, then how special is like when we get fucking Spider-Man on or Steve Nash or somebody like that?
well, that's a very special.
Or God
guest.
willing, our good friend Jake Berger, who's killing it down at South Beach.
Our boy Jake is killing it.
Took his talents to South Beach. Seeing some pictures.
I'm just saying, you know, on the flip side of that, Mike, do you really want to go around parading the fact that we would just let any schmuck onto this show who, you know, has a pulse?
All right, decidedly, Jason is not a schmuck.
Yes, exactly. But we don't want people out there to think, hey, you know, these guys, you know,
I better shut my mouth. He's gonna pull his
Spurs.
He's gonna
We'll let
pull
you
his
on the
offer
show.
of bringing the cornhole boards to the barbecue. So
It's
like, I'm gonna keep my mouth
he
shut.
is decidedly a special guest.
He is a special
simply
guest.
because he earned the right to be on here.
Okay.
This
Mike-
is a privilege.
Mike,
Yeah.
I have boards.
said.
They're White Sox boards, but I can bring them if you need me to. So just let me know, okay?
I got Tottenham boards. They just have no legs.
Well, that's problematic.
That is problematic. It's a long story.
Lieutenant Dan.
It's a long story.
Oh, wow, Steve from the top rope there, man. Jeez.
Lieutenant Dan, you got legs.
Can't wait to get to that barbecue. Whoa, what happened to your legs? You ain't
So-
got no legs.
So here's the questions on my mind. I'm wondering, hey, Mike, what you drinking?
Oh, Dave. That
He
feels
loves it when
good,
you ask
man.
that question.
God damn it.
Yeah,
And he
I
stole my
enjoy it.
tagline. He stole my tagline. We haven't seen Dave in like 3 weeks, and you steal my tagline.
But I have been
Well-
wondering, and I do know that you appreciate it when I ask that question. So glad to help.
Yeah,
So
but
that
I
you
appreciate
guys-
it even more.
So that you guys and myself have done no pre judging of my beer or pre-research. I have a beer from a brewery. My friend Trey,
The one
was
who you
always-
just shit on for not bringing you beer.
if I didn't shit on him, he would probably never talk to me again. because he knows our relationship and we've known each other since like the 8th grade. So
You have weird friendships, bro.
Yeah, right.
I love that dude.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm friends with you guys. So
Fair. Walked into
this
that
one
one.
is from he always sends me pictures of his place. It looks super cool. I love this place. Just from the pictures and you know the way it looks. And I've been told great things about this brewery. It's a brewery in Rhode Island. It's in Exeter, Rhode Island, called Tilted Barn. Trey has brought me a hat. I was gonna wear it tonight too, and I just didn't do it. I don't know why. But this one is called Cactus. It's a double IPA. It's just pretty basic, right? It's got a cool little guitar in there.
Is it
inside
full
the
of, like,
cactus.
needles or
It might. I don't think it has
it's
anything
a
to do with
joke
it.
beer. I got it. You're
yeah,
gonna
it's a
drink
joke
it
beer.
and you're gonna be in pain. That's what's going on.
Cactus is one of our core double IPAs here at Tilted Barn, bursting with tropical fruit flavors and aromas, and with an extremely
All right.
soft mouthfeel.
All right. I gotta put we gotta take a time out for a second. I'm struggling here. All right. So
You look like Gavin McLeod.
I got a new hat too.
you're gonna drink a beer.
What do you think,
Okay.
boys?
You're gonna drink a beer from Rhode Island
I am.
called Cactus.
Mhm.
Okay. And it has tropical notes to it. Cactus. A tropical Rhode Island beer called Cactus.
Yeah.
I agree with the concern. If this place is as good as you say, they may pull it off, but there's cause.
I
for
don't. I
concern.
The
can't.
captain has spoken.
That's right. Captain
I
Davey
cannot.
is telling you what's
cannot
up.
say that it's actually good. I've been told it's good. Here's the thing. Last week was an abject like disaster, right, Steve?
Yeah.
That was the worst beer I've ever put in my mouth before.
Yeah, you called
And-
it the Eric Dyer of beers, correct?
Also, the worst thing
If
he's
this-
put in his mouth.
Yeah,
Touche.
I think Jason asked if this beer were a Tottenham player, why is it Eric Dyer?
that was a fantastic question.
And
I
that's why
give
he's a
Jason-
special guest.
That's-
I
Yeah,
give
that is why
Jason
he's a
a
special
special question from a special guest. Yes.
All right. So anyway, yeah, naturally unfiltered, farm brewed. So it's brewed on a farm, made in Rhode Island. I'm gonna give it a shot. Why not? It looks great. Nothing fancy about it.
Just like me.
Nothing fancy about Steve. Yeah.
Looks great. Nothing fancy.
No, your beard is pretty fancy. I don't know how you keep it like that. It's like a perfect. You have the little pointed thing too. Like,
It's because hair doesn't grow here.
I got you.
That's his
Genetics.
His New Jersey genes are doing that to him.
I'm gonna attempt to pour this better than I did last week.
Oh yeah, man. Dave, you should have seen it. He had like a full 5-finger head.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
What happened to you, Mike? Did you get drunk beforehand and just lose track, or
No,
was
I'm
it
No,
half
just-
it's
drunk
the
right now,
beer.
though. I can tell you that.
You're doing
It was
better
the
now.
beer.
I've been on call all week and haven't been able to drink. So
It's makeup time.
I got after it today. Look at this beer. Look at that beer.
That's pretty.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty.
It is
Looks
naturally
thick.
unfiltered. Delicious. 1.5 fingers. My fat. Look how fat my fingers are.
You say
Oh, man.
naturally unfiltered. Is there like an unnatural way to unfilter beer?
Yeah, Mike.
n- I
Mike's
guess
the
there.
unnatural
No, there is.
filtering.
There's a natural way to unfilter a beer. Yeah.
Right, that's what you said. But is there an unnatural way? Because if there's only one way, why don't they just call it unfiltered?
I don't know. Dave.
It's like labeling organic, right? Like just it's a word.
It's a label, Dave.
It's a buzzword.
Don't
Yeah.
put labels on me. This beer smells really good. It doesn't smell like the dentist, which is great. Steve, I hope your dentist went well.
I did actually. They had a new machine, which was kind of weird.
They got a new machine. What did the new machine do, Steve?
It was supposed to scan my tooth, right? So I went in for a crown, and they took this. It looked like a wand from Tron or something, like
Right.
a really sci-fi instrument. And the lady's just like do, just scanning it all over my mouth. No rhyme or reason. She's not.
Does she do that at home with that one too? Because you might
Might-
want to change your dentist if she does.
I mean, hey,
Do-do-do-do-do.
but I'll tell you what, this is the second crown that I've had to get there. And the first one when they used this machine, before it was like trial and error, right? They'd try to form something up, shape it, dude. All right, how does that feel? Okay, not good. All right, let's try to, file it down a bit. This one, they just scanned it and it was like they 3D print a tooth right there for me. It was awesome.
Was
Wow,
that the
so
is that the
cool.
temporary or is that the real?
Yeah, it's a
the real deal?
temporary. I got to go back in for the permanent one.
My
but,
wife
it
never
was
went back
cool.
for the permanent one.
It was so cool.
She still has a temporary in.
Anyway, you looked like you were having a good time.
Mike looked
drinking
like he
beer.
was like rolling dice and throwing nothing but sevens.
Is
With
rolling
with
dice?
this.
Is that what we're going for?
Sevens,
Yeah.
baby. 7-7. I don't shoot craps, but I do gamble, and I gamble every week on this podcast with beers.
Oh, listen to you. That was well played there, buddy.
And this week,
You hit the
everything's coming up Millhouse.
You hit the Yahtzee.
This beer is really fucking good.
Okay. So Steve, that puts us into the over 4 range. If
You
it's
think so?
really good.
Could be
Really?
high threes. Could be high threes.
I think
Let's get
he's
some
gotta-
more.
Yeah, let's hear.
So my friend Adam has texted me and said that we need Dave back on the pod to dial in Mike's ratings.
That's
He's-
good.
He said that on the Discord.
Adam
and,
said that.
Yeah.
Good
Always
for
liked
Adam.
him. Always rated
I love
Adam.
you, buddy. Smart.
It was
man.
because of my 4.9 rating on Great Rhythm Squeeze.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to him that like that beer is like one of my all-time favorites, and it's a 0.1 from being a perfect beer. This beer is really fucking good. It's got the right amount of fizz. It's not too heavy when you drink it. It was right on with the mouthfeel. So like sometimes you get like a beer that's way too heavy, way too malty, way too like tough to swallow and deal with. This beer makes you want to go in for a second one like immediately. It hits all the citrus notes that you want it to hit. It has absolutely like I don't see a flaw in it. Outside of maybe this beer might not be great if it warms up a little bit. It would lose some points if it warmed up a little bit. Like this is a cold temperature beer to drink. And in lots of beers like develop flavors as they get warmer. This beer like has all those flavors right there, compact in it. All of the citrus notes that you want to hit. The pineapple, it's got mango, it's got maybe a little bit of like orange in it. Like it's really fucking good, and I want more of it.
Mike, before you give your rating, Tilted Barn is the brewery, right?
Yeah.
And what's the name of the actual beer?
Cactus. It's a double IPA. It's at 7.8%.
All right, got it, man. Got it. All right. Well, you just gave us one number. Let's hear your big number.
4.6.
Oh, damn it.
We were close.
This beer's
Yeah, you were close.
really fucking good.
Yeah, we didn't think you'd go that high again, but
This beer's really
There you
fucking
are.
good.
You got to rein it in.
You'll
Yeah,
be
you-
able. Well, you'll be able to.
you're blowing your wad, man. You got no room left.
No, you boys are gonna come to the barbecue. You're gonna try Great Rhythm. You're gonna try Cactus, and then we're gonna do our live and in person pod, and you're gonna be able to call bullshit on me one way or another.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right.
Sound
Can't
good?
wait till I try that one and go, wow, this is just like every other IPA I've ever had. You tell me to get the fuck out.
Yeah. I'll hit you in the face with a dead fish.
That's, you know what? I could honestly use that.
All right, Mike. So now the question is, what song that we've never heard of does this beer remind you of?
Hey, he had one song recently that I had heard of. Actually, two. Billy Joel. I've heard Billy Joel.
Mike's mental discography. Yeah, that.
Frankly, this whole season so far, I have known his songs. Let's see if we can keep that going.
Good. Yeah, the Billy
yeah.
Joel hate was strong last week too, man.
You're not getting it. The
you were
second
coming hard.
the second that I say this, you're not getting it.
Is it a
All right,
Billy
let's
Joel
start.
song? 4.6 Billy Joel
No,
song?
it
Go
is
on, Let's
not.
hear it.
It's a Fish song.
Of course, because he said Trey like 3 times today, so that made him think.
Oh, no,
Fish.
It's
no.
like Beetlejuice.
My friend Trey is
My
not
friend
Trey.
My friend Trey.
He
My
goes
friend
to
Trey is
another
not-
school.
Anastasio, ever heard of him?
My friend Trey is not Trey Anastasio.
He's in a band.
One of the members of Fish I've never actually met. It's
What,
not Trey Anastasio.
you haven't partied at his house or anything like that without him being aware?
Mike Gordon.
He
I
didn't
did see
snoop
I did
through
see
his
Mike. I will
dumpster.
say I did see Mike Gordon at Vivid Coffee as I was walking out after the game, and I big timed him.
Did you?
Yep. He
Nice.
waved right. He put his hand up to me, and I went, "Hey, Mike," and I walked out.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Why'd you do that?
So that I don't know because I'm fucking cool.
What a dick you are, man. Jeez.
That guy's
No,
like, man, I'm writing
He's a
my next
so
song
he's a
about how
regular. He's
awful
a
this
regular
guy
at Vivid
is.
Coffee. He can go in there and he can do his work on his computer, edit his weird fucking photos that he takes.
And nobody knows who he is except Mike.
That's from like his
So
lone friend.
That said, Mike Gordon is the cactus. That's his bass guitar right there.
Aha. Okay.
So I'm gonna go.
So
Fish.
you came into this with a preconceived idea on where you.
No,
were
actually, I
going
didn't
for
see
song.
I didn't see the bass guitar, and I didn't see the bass guitar until.
Steve, this is a setup. You see all
You know,
this, right?
I've got a theory. Before he gives the song, I've got a theory. Have you ever seen that show, How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
'Cause there's an episode where they're convinced that they spent the
wasting
night
time
hanging
here.
out with Moby.
Look
And
at
it
Moby.
wasn't Moby. It wasn't actually Moby. And I'm starting to think this is the same sort of thing. You know, it's just some guy who's a regular Vivid Coffee that Mike thinks passes a resemblance to this dude in a band.
I think Mike and Fish Mike have a deal worked out. When Mike said, "Hey, Mike," earlier, that was code for like, "Hey, bro, tonight's the night that I'm going to talk about you on the pod. I'm gonna do a beer that reminds me of you, and I'm going to use one of your songs."
That dude's
You know
worth
what?
like $50 million. He doesn't give a fuck about me.
You know what, though?
Well, get him on the pod. Let's see what
next
he's
time,
worth.
next time you see him at
I'm not getting
Vivid,
that weirdo on a pod.
next time you see him at Vivid, Mike, I want you to say the following to him. All right. Hey, Mike, what you drinking?
I will,
That'd
in
be
fact,
good.
and I'll get it on video.
That'd be
Perfect.
great.
All right, now give
I
us
know.
the song.
I
Give us the
did
song.
just notice that, like when I first like showed the can, I was like, "Oh, there's a bass guitar in there." I'm gonna go right ahead and say it. Mike's song, Fish.
Okay.
Wait, that's the name of the song.
Yeah, it usually leads live. It will lead into a song called Weekapog Groove, which is very funny because Weekapog is in is in Rhode Island. So it usually segues right into Weekapog Groove.
I think this was planned, Dave.
I feel like it's a setup, but hey, I'm gonna go with it. Mike's song or Mike's tune? Mike's song, you said, correct?
Mike's song.
All right. Hey, this has been Mike with Mike's song about the cactus, a beer he loves.
This beer's
Loves,
fucking good.
loves.
This beer is fucking good.
It has everything you're looking for and more.
He likes
And,
it, likes
this,
it.
This has been, hey Mike, what you drinking? And I've missed it. So I'm glad got to do it again. Thanks, buddy.
I'm glad that you got to try and call me out on some bullshit. Like every single week, it seems like,
I
hey,
can always
Mike's-
try, right? I can
Mike's a
always try.
douchebag.
You know, if you really want to make it difficult,
Dude,
you could say
nobody said you're a douchebag. That's
You know-
self-talk there, buddy. That's self-talk.
we could have asked, 4.6, give us the Billy Joel song that is closest to this beer.
Ooh.
Oh, we can throw that into the mix.
That would be. Look, I'm not saying you got to do it because I know how much you hate that man, but we
I know a
we
lot of
could
his
have made
music.
things difficult.
I know a lot of his music because a lot of his fucking garbage greatest hits were played at the bar that I used to hang out with at. So
Fair enough. So, Dave,
All
what
right.
do we got? What's next on our imaginary?
On our running order.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me check. Yeah, what the hell do we want to talk about?
I can't even look at you. The low boat.
Hey, respect the captain. There's some
Soon we'll
exciting
be
stuff,
making another run.
exciting stuff going on this weekend. There's an early match on Saturday, which is good because we can watch that before we get ready for the second annual Wicked Spursy Barbecue, where we are recording live. Mike, anything you want to share for our loyal, loving listeners about what they what they might what someone who was coming to the Wicked Spursy barbecue might be able to expect, and what they might expect out of our podcast next week. You got any little nuggets to share?
There's going to be some great barbecue. I am smoking a 10-pound pork shoulder, Boston butt pork shoulder. You can expect lots of lawn games. I've got the horseshoe pits are all ready to go. We got volleyball. We got what's that fucking? I don't even know what that game is with the little fucking trampoline. You smash the ball off of
slam ball or smash ball or whatever.
Smash ball, whatever the fuck it's called. I got that
Yeah.
going. That's my son's favorite fucking game. We got trampoline for the kids. We have cornhole going. We're gonna have some can jam going. Like all the lawn games you can imagine. There's gonna be about 20 to 25 people there. Anybody who wants to come, just DM us on our if you're around in the area, DM us on our any of our social media. We'll give you the lowdown, the address, lots of fun salads. It'll be food fun.
Sorry, did you say salads?
Salads?
Oh, I
Lots
think
of
I'm
fun
coming down with
salads.
something in a week.
Steve's not a fan of salads or anything that has a.
You don't make friends with salad.
No. I'm talking pasta salad. Things with
Fruit
maybe
salad.
some bacon
Yummy,
and
yummy.
Oh, okay. You had me a bacon. All right,
there's
good.
gonna be
We're good.
there's gonna be lots of beer. There'll be a special fridge for the Wicked Spursy crew.
VIP fridge.
Which includes the three of us and Brian from Rhode Island and maybe Jason Weedsy.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody else
special
gets access
guest
to that, right? Like
Jason.
this is an off limits to others
It is.
fridge. Good.
It will be. It'll be a private fridge.
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
private
and
reserve.
late night fire, marshmallows, s'mores, chocolate. So send the kids home, send the kids home and stay for the fire.
Very nice.
We'll
So
have
yeah, if you're in Northwest Vermont and you're Spursy or Spursy adjacent, reach out to us. We'd be happy to
You know what?
bring you under the tent.
I'm not gonna lie, there are gonna be a couple gooners there too. We're gonna be there. Who are gonna be there to shithouse? But here's the thing.
I
They're
get
gonna-
it. It's
they're gonna
like the
learn-
deadliest game type thing, right? We're gonna hunt them for sport.
They don't know that yet. They they don't know that they're iced tea. So they will be there and they're gonna learn that we live rent free in their heads. That's the way it is. It's all I've always noticed that, like, you talk to a gooner about how
They
their
want
team
money from
performed,
you.
how their team might have performed in the game. Like, it's already happened today. I said, "Oh, you know what? I don't think that I think Arsenal got away with one today." And you know what I got in response? How's Tottenham doing? Where'd they finish last year? It's always
Right.
like, why do they have to do that? It's like, no. I'm
But
just
the
asking you, like,
Invincibles.
yeah, like I'm asking you, like, well, remember when Tottenham lost to Leicester? Tottenham got beat by Leicester for the League Cup. Like, you fucking relax, dude.
Remember when you
We're-
blew first in a
we're
one-horse race?
talking about your team, and yeah, we're talking about your team. I'm just asking about the game today. And they're out. They
You
always
can't
bring up
talk
all,
to them.
You know what it is? It's like Chris Tucker. Why is he gonna bring up all the shit?
And these guys are are they
Actually-
boys? Is that what it is?
Actually, this one guy, Will, is he's one of my co-hosts on United Green, and he's
Gotcha.
he's a stand-up dude. He's a stand-up
right.
dude. He's a good guy.
Well,
Except for
you know,
the
we'll be kind, but we'll be
don't
watching.
speak
He
for
will,
all
he
of
will
us.
watching
also be
closely.
kind. He will also be kind, and I'm sure, and I would expect that he would wear his shitty yellow and black, fucking disgusting looking, stupid Arsenal shirt from this year.
Fabulous.
Nah, he'll try to shithouse a little bit, but he won't interrupt things. Maybe we'll bring him on to talk about his team. I don't know. No, he won't.
No. Nobody
Nah.
wants to hear that.
No.
Might as well
not
go
gonna
and
do
get
it.
that homeless guy.
Right.
I don't even know if that guy was an Arsenal supporter. He just said Tottenham sucks, and I put my money right back in my wallet, right in front of him.
I think we probably should start thinking about some closing thoughts a little bit, boys.
I think so.
Believe it or not, we're there. So Steve, let's start with you. What's on your mind? Closing thoughts.
What's on my mind? I'm curious to see because this upcoming week is an interesting one, right? We've got the Saturday game, early game, which we will be able to give our thoughts on pretty quickly after all things considered.
We will.
But we also have a midweek fixture, second round of the EFL Cup. We're away to Fulham before going away to Burnley at the weekend. We're hitting a period where we've got some pretty quick turnaround. And I'm curious to see Ange's approach with this cup competition. You know, Fulham's not a pushover. It's not like you can expect to just rotate, play out the kids and see what happens. How much tinkering is he going to do? That is what I'm thinking about right now. Are we going to see, I have to imagine we're going to see a couple of changes at Bournemouth. If I were to guess, assuming that we still have the exact same roster that we have now, there's no transfer activity between now and then, I bet Lo Celso starts in place of Maddison. Whether Maddison is fit or not, I think Lo Celso gets the start at Bournemouth just to give him that rest, give him a little bit of extra recovery.
Try out for Barca.
I have to imagine we're going to see at least one other change. Maybe Solomon. Maybe. I know he's had a little bit of an injury thing he's been working through, but I think you can expect one or two changes, probably two changes for Bournemouth. And honestly, maybe a good 6 or 7 for the Fulham Cup game. You know, I think Ange's going to take it seriously, but I think he's going to recognize that, you know, the style of football that he plays requires a lot of the players. And it's a long season that we're only a couple of games into. He's not going to want anybody injured or burnt out right away. I have to imagine we see a bit more rotation away to Fulham, and I have to imagine that the players that he chooses are going to be given the same sort of instruction. You know, this is your chance, take it or not. You know, we're getting to the end of the transfer window here. That's like the last opportunity for people to impress if they want to stay or if they want to leave to, you know, kind of, hey guys, you know, I'm still here. Please pay money for me or take me on loan or something. But I'm really curious to see his approach. I'm curious to see if he's, you know, one of those coaches who's like, whatever, it's a cup competition, let's focus on the league, or if he's going to, you know, strong lineups every single time, only, you know, one or two changes. What's going to happen? It should be interesting. I'm expecting us to definitely beat Bournemouth. That team has not looked good this season. And I'm expecting, honestly, I'm kind of expecting wins for the next 4 games at least. Burnley, I think, is probably our biggest challenge just because I think Company's a really solid coach and will have that team playing well. Fulham haven't really looked all that impressive. Bournemouth, I just think, are bad. Yeah, I'm expecting some good things from Ange this week, but I'm also curious to see his approach.
Good analysis and good question. Curious to see what happens. How about you, Mike? Closing thoughts.
Yeah, sorry, I was making some faces at my wife and daughter who kept peeking their heads in. They just got
I know what you feel. I know how you feel about me.
I was trying to distract Steve, actually. So
is this because I texted you at 5 a.m?
It is you. Holy fuck. Amy, like, she rolls over, like, I got woken up by like bloop, bloop, bloop. And I was like, what the fuck? And then Amy rolls over and goes, who's texting you at 5 a.m? And I was like, I rolled over and I looked at just hit the top of my phone. And the first thing that came up was Nikki Winks. So I rolled back and I was like, it's just Nick. It was fucking Steve.
Oh, no way. That's funny.
So anywho, for me, going forward, the games coming up, I 100% agree with Steve. I think that, like, it's going to be interesting to see how Ange deals with a little bit of fixture congestion, and going forward with you know, minimizing injuries, minimizing effect on the players who are on the field being you know, playing too many minutes, that kind of stuff. Like, his system is an all-out, it's a balls out, non-stop running system. guys are always fucking moving because you never know when you're going to get the ball, right? So it's going to be neat how he starts to manage some minutes here with cup competitions coming up. That said, I looked at the next 3 games. I didn't look for the 4th game going forward. I think we should get 9 points out of those games, out of the next 3 games. I think that. Oh my God, Jesus, that was weird.
Sorry, I just saw a very interesting "here we go" confirmed that I'll share with you guys when you finish your thought.
Okay. So I think that like going forward, I think that we're gonna have to start to understand that there are some things that we that are out of our control, they're out of Angie's control. And I think that Steve just threw me off because I think I might know what it is. But that said, we have a lot of games coming up, and as cup competitions start coming up, we have to start managing the minutes of these players. So I think Manor Solomon, he got a couple of minutes in the game. He had a couple of really good possession balls.
Mhm.
I know he only played a couple of minutes, but he had a ball played to him where he had to make a move out of and retain possession of the ball, and he was very, very strong in that possession. Honestly, I think that we can get 9 points out of the next 3 games. And as far as the cup competition goes, that's not FA Cup, that's just League Cup, right?
Mickey Mouse Cup, yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. So fuck the Carabao Cup. So if we lose, we lose. We can play the fucking youth team in that if we want to. Put fucking Brandon Austin in goal if you want.
Sure.
But Forster can play in goal. Like love Forster. Big hands like a frying pan. Steve, drop your shit on us because
Mike was talking smack about Forster, but now he loves him. Remember that, Steve? I'm sorry. Let's get back to what's your here we go. What do you got?
Here we go. So before I get to that, let me ask you guys, what would you say Chelsea's biggest position of need is?
Owner.
Fair enough. All right. I'm just going to drop it. So the here we go confirmed. Chelsea have a verbal agreement in place with the New England Revolution.
For the goalie,
16 million for Jordy Petrovic.
I saw those rumors.
16 million
That's
to
not
the
what I
New
thought it
England
was.
Revolution.
I thought
Petrovic.
I honestly thought it was the Lo Celso. Here we go.
Oh,
With Barcelona.
No, Steve would have called
What
that a
the
timely
fuck?
one because we've been talking about it, right? So he just said
this
was
is just one of those. It's like, seriously, like.
Well, let me tell you something. So New England Revolution know how to develop keepers. Whether their coach is a fucking creep or not, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Bruce Arena, the dude's.
I was gonna say, how do you feel? How do you feel, Mike?
I'm a Reds fan. We know how to develop keepers. Matt Turner got his first win in the Premier League this week and was brilliant looking. By the way, big shout out to fucking Big Vic. We didn't talk about him at all on this podcast. That dude was fucking brilliant this week. Controlled chaos is Big Vic. He fits in well with our number 17 back there with that tries to talk to him. But anyway, like New England Revolution know how to develop keepers. They did it with Matt Turner. They're doing it with Petrovic. Like he is the sole reason that they're in second place right now. And are in the hunt. Like they're playing very well. There's no shortage of goals being needed in New England right now. So that's talk for another podcast, but Petrovic is a good keeper. I think that Chelsea would be done well to have a backup right now. That's going to do them well because they don't have a lot going on in the back like that. And I think that he could do a job for them that they might need. Also fuck Chelsea.
Yes, absolutely. That's the big takeaway.
If they get fucking relegated this year, it's gonna make my life. It really will. It really will. I feel bad for Dad, but Dad never came back, and then he just showed up with another family.
And seemed to have forgotten about everyone else.
Like,
right?
oh, hey,
There
yeah,
it is. That's a great note to close on.
You're living right across town, Dad. Thanks for bringing that thanks for bringing that milk back to us. It's spoiled.
And on that note, we're gonna wrap it. Hey, this has been Wicked Spursy, and listeners, we appreciate you, gentlemen. Appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few days for the barbecue and the live pod. So as we go, Steve, what would be a comment you would make before we depart?
Don't be an asshole.
Thank you for that. And Mike, how about you?
Boys,
Coys.
it's a crazy world out there. I just want everybody to look around and enjoy the world around yourselves, and be safe.
There it is.
And you know what? Tottenham Hotspur action. It's fantastic.
Spoken like someone who took $2 away from a homeless man today.
And then I got out of the car, beat him up, and took the rest of the tin can.
You know what? I guarantee that dude's not homeless.
He wasn't
Oh,
homeless.
God.
He was just a Burlington hippie.
Okay, so he was homeless then. He needed money to get to the fish show.
Man, what's Mike Gordon going to say?
We'll find out in a couple